Cao Cao's army and Ma Chao's forces fought fiercely through the night until dawn, then each withdrew to their own camps. Ma Chao camped along the Wei River and launched constant attacks from front and rear, giving Cao Cao no rest. To secure his side, Cao Cao linked ships, rafts, and iron chains on the river into 3 floating bridges and had Cao Ren fortify both banks, lining up grain carts as makeshift walls. When Ma Chao heard this, he joined forces with Han Sui, ordered every soldier to carry dry grass and fire, rushed at Cao Ren's camp, piled the grass before the walls, and set it ablaze. The fire roared up. The Cao troops fled, the carts and bridges burned, and both banks of the Wei fell into Xiliang hands. Cao Cao could not stabilize his camps and grew anxious. Sun Yu suggested building an earthen city from the sandy soil. Cao Cao mobilized 30,000 men to carry earth, but Ma Chao sent Pang De and Ma Dai to harass, and the loose sand kept collapsing. Late in the 9th month, the weather suddenly turned freezing. An old Taoist from Mount Zhongnan, Lu Zibo, came to see Cao Cao and advised, "Wait for the north wind. As your men pile earth, soak it with water. By morning the cold will freeze it solid." That night the north wind rose. The army piled earth and poured water. By dawn the sandy soil had frozen into hard walls, and a tall earthen fortress stood complete. Ma Chao came to inspect, saw the overnight ice city, and was secretly shocked, thinking, "Does Cao Cao truly have heaven's help?" The next day Ma Chao advanced with his army. Cao Cao rode out with only Xu Chu and shouted, "Mingda comes alone. Let Ma Chao answer me." Ma Chao charged out. Cao Cao mocked, "You thought I could not build a camp, yet heaven raised one for me overnight. Why not surrender now?" Ashamed and angry, Ma Chao wanted to seize him, but saw behind Cao Cao a fierce, huge warrior with glaring eyes and steel blade. Remembering the rumors, he called out, "Where is the tiger marquis in your army?" The man roared, "I am Xu Chu of Chao Commandery." His aura was terrifying, and Ma Chao, wary, turned back. From then on the army widely called Xu Chu the Tiger Marquis. Xu Chu, full of pride, told Cao Cao, "Tomorrow I will capture Ma Chao alive," and sent a challenge. Ma Chao was enraged and replied, "Tomorrow I will cut off the tiger fool's head." The next day both sides formed their lines. Pang De held Ma Chao's left, Ma Dai the right. Han Sui commanded the center. Ma Chao rode forward and shouted, "Tiger fool, come out and die." Under the command banner, Cao Cao said, "In bravery, Ma Chao is no less than Lu Bu." Before he finished, Xu Chu had already spurred out. Ma Chao charged to meet him. They fought more than 100 rounds without a decisive result, changed horses, and fought another 100 rounds. In a burst of fury, Xu Chu returned to camp, stripped off his armor, went bare-chested with muscles bulging, took up his blade, and rode out again. Both armies were stunned. They fought another 30 rounds. Xu Chu slashed, Ma Chao dodged and thrust at his chest. Xu Chu dropped his blade and clamped the spear between his arms. The two wrestled over it until Xu Chu's strength snapped the shaft in two. Each held half, striking at each other on horseback with the broken poles. Fearing Xu Chu might suffer, Cao Cao sent Xiahou Yuan and Cao Hong to assist. Pang De and Ma Dai also led their wings of cavalry into the fray, and the battlefield fell into chaos. Xu Chu took 2 arrows in the arm, and had to be escorted back to camp. Ma Chao pursued all the way to the river, inflicting heavy losses. Cao Cao ordered, "Hold the camp and do not come out," and went on the defensive. Ma Chao said to Han Sui, "Among all the fierce generals I have seen, none matches Xu Chu. He truly deserves the name Tiger Fool." Cao Cao knew he could not win by brute force and secretly sent Su Huang and Zhu Ling to cross the Wei and camp on the western bank, preparing a pincer attack. Later, from the city walls, Cao Cao watched Ma Chao galloping provocatively with several hundred riders. Frustrated, he threw down his helmet and sighed. If that colt, Ma, does not die, I will have no resting place in the future. Xiahou Yuan, angered, led 1,000 men out in reckless pursuit, forcing Cao Cao to ride out as well. In battle, Ma Chao suddenly reorganized his formation, held off Xiahou Yuan, then spotted Cao Cao in the melee and rushed toward him, almost catching him. Just then news arrived. Su Huang and Zhu Ling had already secured a camp west of the river. Shocked by this new threat, Ma Chao broke off the pursuit, returned to camp, and said to Han Sui, "We are now threatened front and rear. What should we do?" Li Qin proposed ceding some land and suing for peace to survive the winter first. Han Sui agreed. Yang Qiu and Ho Xian also urged peace. Han Sui sent Yang Qiu with a letter asking to surrender territory. Cao Cao replied politely that he would slowly withdraw and return the lands, while in fact building bridges and making a show of retreat. Jiasu advised, agree on the surface, but use a scheme to set Han Sui and Ma Chao against each other. Then we can crush them in one stroke. Cao Cao agreed, wrote a letter to Han Sui, deliberately smeared the key lines, and sent it with great ceremony so everyone would know. As expected, Ma Chao heard of it, demanded to see the letter, and was alarmed by the messy corrections. Han Sui claimed it had always been like that. Ma Chao accused him of altering the contents to hide the truth. Han Sui suggested, "Tomorrow I will speak with Cao Cao at the lines. You rush out from our ranks and kill him. Will that prove my loyalty?" Ma Chao agreed. The next day, Han Sui took 5 generals, Ho Xian, Li Qian, Liang Xing, Ma Wan, and Yang Qiu, out to the front, while Ma Chao hid behind the camp gate. Han Sui called for Cao Cao, but Cao Hong came instead, whispered, "Do not forget what the Prime Minister said last night," then rode away. Ma Chao heard clearly and, thinking they had a secret pact, flew into a rage and rushed out to kill Han Sui. The 5 generals barely managed to pull him back. Back in his tent, Han Sui asked the 5 what to do now. Yang Qiu said, "Ma Chao relies on brute strength and looks down on his lord. Even if we win, he may not submit to you. It would be better to secretly turn to Cao Cao and seek titles and fiefs." Though Han Sui hesitated, remembering his sworn brotherhood with Ma Teng, he finally agreed. Yang Qiu carried a secret letter to Cao Cao, who gladly promised to enfeoff Han Sui as Marquis of Xiliang, Yang Qiu as Governor of Xiliang, and grant ranks to the others. They agreed to set fire inside the camp at night as a signal for a joint attack. However, Ma Chao's spies learned everything. That night, he entered the main tent with a few close guards, while Pang De and Ma Dai waited outside with troops. He overheard Yang Qiu saying, "We cannot delay, tonight we must act," and burst in shouting, "You traitors dare plot against me." He slashed at Han Sui. Han Sui raised his hand and had his left hand cut off. The 5 generals attacked together, but Ma Chao hacked his way out, killed Ma Wan and Liang Xing, and scattered the rest. When he rushed back into the tent to finish off Han Sui, the latter had already been carried away. Flames erupted behind the tent, and the whole camp was in chaos. Ma Chao mounted quickly. Pang De and Ma Dai joined him and tried to break out, only to find Chao troops on all sides. Xu Chu, Su Huang, Xiahou Yuan, and Cao Hong closing in. The Xiliang army collapsed in panic. In the confusion, Ma Chao lost sight of Pang De and Ma Dai. With barely 100 riders, he seized the position at the Wei Bridge. At dawn, Li Qian's troops passed beneath. Ma Chao chased him, but Eugene arrived behind and loosed an arrow. Ma Chao dodged, and the arrow struck Li Qian dead instead. Chao troops surged forward. Tiger Guard archers rained arrows on Ma Chao. He knocked them aside with his spear, but the encirclement tightened. At last, a hidden bolt brought down his horse, and Chao's soldiers rushed in. At the critical moment, Pang Da and Ma Dai fought their way back, pulled Ma Chao up, gave him another mount, and together cut a bloody path to the northwest. Cao Cao offered rich rewards, 1,000 taels of gold and a marquise for Ma Chao's head, or the title of Great General for capturing him alive. Many generals chased hard. Ma Chao fled day and night, his infantry captured or scattered, until only a little over 30 riders remained. With Pang Da and Ma Dai, he headed toward Longxi and Lintao in defeat. Cao Cao pursued as far as Anding, then, seeing Ma Chao had escaped far away, returned to Chang'an. Han Sui, now crippled with one hand missing, was left in Chang'an to recuperate and was granted the title Marquis of Xiliang. Yang Qiu and Ho Xian were also in theft and left to guard the Wei crossing. Cao Cao then ordered the army back to Xuchang. In Chang'an, Yang Fu of Liangzhou came to see him. Yang Fu warned, Ma Chao is as strong as Lu Bu and favored by the Chang. If you do not destroy him now, he will rebuild his power and the Longsheng region will no longer belong to the court. Cao Cao replied, I cannot stay long. I entrust this matter to you. At Yang Fu's recommendation, Wei Kong became inspector of Liangzhou, and together they went to guard Jiqing against Ma Chao's return. Yang Fu also asked that strong forces be left in Chang'an as support, and Cao Cao assured him this was already arranged. After Yang Fu left, the generals asked why Cao Cao had focused on Tong Pass, then built camps north of the Wei, instead of attacking from Hudong. Cao Cao explained that if he had attacked from Hudong, the enemy would have guarded all crossings, making a western crossing difficult. By concentrating at Tong Pass, he forced their main forces southward and left the west bank weak for Su Huang and Zhu Ling to exploit. Then he crossed north, linked carts into corridors, used the winter cold to harden his defenses, pretended to be weak and on the defensive, and finally used schemes and sudden attack to win quickly, like a thunderbolt that leaves no time to cover the ears. The generals also asked why he seemed pleased whenever the enemy added troops. Cao Cao said, Guanzhong is wide and sparsely populated. If they scattered in many strongholds, it would take a long time to pacify them. Concentrated together, they are numerous but not united. Easiest to divide and defeat at once. The generals marveled at his strategy. Cao Cao rewarded the army, redistributed surrendered troops, left Xiahou Yuan and Zhang Ji to guard Chang'an, then returned to Xuchang. Emperor Xian came out to welcome him and granted him the high honors of entering court with sword and boots, not bowing or rushing, privileges like those once given to Xiao He. From then on, Cao Cao's power shook the empire. News of this great campaign soon reached Hanzhong and alarmed Zhang Lu, administrator of Hanning. Zhang Lu's grandfather Zhang Ling had founded a religious sect in western Sichuan, taking Taoist scriptures as his banner and accepting 5 pecks of rice from followers, which earned them the nickname Rice Bandits. After Zhang Ling and his son Zhang Heng died, Zhang Lu took over. In Hanzhong he called himself master. Followers were ghost squads, their leaders libationers, and powerful ones chief libationers. They claimed to value honesty, banned fraud, handled illness through confession and 3 officials' petitions to heaven, earth, and water, and rewarded recovery with offerings of rice. He also built charity hostels filled with food for travelers to take freely, warning that greed would incur heavenly punishment. Lawbreakers were pardoned up to 3 times. Only repeated offenders were punished. Local affairs were managed entirely by libationers, not imperial officials. Thus Zhang Lu ruled Hanzhong for 30 years. Because the region was remote and difficult to attack, the court formally recognized him as general who pacifies the south, and administrator of Hanning, in exchange for tribute. This year, hearing that Cao Cao had crushed the Western forces, Zhang Lu gathered his followers and said, Ma Teng has been executed, Ma Chao defeated. Cao Cao's next move will surely be against Hanzhong. I intend to declare myself king of Hanning and raise troops against him. What do you think? His advisor Yan Pu replied, Hanzhong has many households, abundant grain and natural defenses. Now, after Ma Chao's defeat, tens of thousands from Xiliang have fled here through Ziwu Valley. Rather than rush to claim a royal title, we should first take advantage of the foolish and weak Lu Zhang and seize the 41 commanderies of Izhou, securing western Sichuan as our base. After that, speaking of kingship will not be too late. Zhang Lu was delighted and began planning with his brother Zhang Wei. But their plot was soon discovered and reported to Izhou. At that time, the governor of Izhou was Lu Zhang, styled Jiyu, son of Lu Yan and a distant member of the imperial clan. Lu Yan had served as governor of Izhou but had died of illness. Local officials then supported Lu Zhang as his successor. Lu Zhang was by nature timid and soft. He also had a blood feud with Zhang Lu, having killed Zhang Lu's mother and brother in the past. Fearing revenge, he had appointed Pang Shi as administrator of Baxi to guard against Hanzhong. When Pang Shi learned of Zhang Lu's plan to invade Sichuan, he reported it at once. Lu Zhang was so frightened he did not know what to do and urgently summoned his officials. Suddenly, one man stepped forward and said, My lord, there is no need for fear. I may lack great talent, but I have a tongue sharp enough to make Zhang Lu abandon any thought of attacking Sichuan. Thus the verse says, because a strategist from Shu came forth with a plan. He would draw the heroes of Jingzhou into Sichuan. Who this man was will be revealed in the next chapter. Summary. This chapter weaves together three main threads in a more compact way. First, at the Wei River, Ma Chao and Han Sui repeatedly attack Cao Cao and even burn his floating bridges and cart walls, seemingly gaining the upper hand. Yet Cao Cao turns the harsh winter to his advantage. By using the north wind and freezing temperatures, he builds an ice city, overnight from sandy earth, reversing his weak position. This shows his ability to seize heaven's timing and improvise under pressure. Second, the novel highlights personal heroism and psychological warfare through the clash between Xu Chu and Ma Chao, and the later schemes of suspicion. Xu Chu, nicknamed the Tiger Fool, duels Ma Chao bare-chested for hundreds of rounds, an epic but highly dramatized showdown with no basis in official records. When sheer force fails, Cao Cao changes tactics. He meets Han Sui privately at the front, sends a smeared, suspicious-looking letter, and relies on gossip and Jiasu's strategy to poison trust between Han Sui and Ma Chao. Their alliance collapses. Han Sui secretly turns to Cao Cao, plans a nighttime betrayal, but is discovered. Ma Chao storms the main tent, cuts off Han Sui's left hand, kills several officers, yet still cannot break the encirclement, and is forced to flee west with only a handful of riders, while Han Sui stays behind in Chang'an as a crippled marquis under Chao's shadow. Third, after the battle, the story turns to Cao Cao's strategic explanation, and then shifts the stage to Hanzhong and Zhang Lu. Cao Cao openly breaks down his thinking. Why he chose to concentrate at Tong Pass, how he used apparent weakness, winter weather, and internal division to win quickly, and why he welcomed the enemy's concentration of forces. These conversations paint him as a commander who prefers one decisive campaign over long, scattered wars. The narrative then introduces Zhang Lu's five-peck rice religious regime in Hanzhong, confession-based healing, petitions to the three officials, charity hostels, and lenient law, and his plan to expand into Izhou at the expense of the timid Lu Zhang. Lu Zhang's fear and his decision to seek a skilled persuader lay the groundwork for the famous later storyline. inviting Liu Bei into Sichuan and the drastic reshaping of the political map in Shu. Knowledge points. 1. The one-night ice city has limited historical basis and is likely literary exaggeration. Historical sources do suggest that cold weather and terrain influenced the Wei River campaign, and there are hints of using winter conditions in fortification. However, the vivid scene of Cao Cao instantly turning loose sand into a towering frozen fortress overnight is almost certainly a dramatization. Romance of the Three Kingdoms amplifies this idea into a symbolic episode. Heaven and winter seemingly stand on Cao Cao's side, underscoring his heaven-timed ingenuity rather than preserving strict factual accuracy. 2. Xu Chu's bare-chested duel with Ma Chao for hundreds of rounds is a classic novel-only embellishment. In the novel, Xu Chu strips off his armor, fights Ma Chao until weapons snap, and the two hammer each other with broken shafts, a highly cinematic one-on-one battle. Official histories, however, only state that Ma Chao and Cao Cao's forces fought repeatedly and that the struggle was severe. They do not record a single, prolonged duel between Ma Chao and Xu Chu, nor the colorful details of the tiger fool fighting half-naked. This episode represents the novel's tendency to elevate generals into legendary warriors for dramatic effect. 3. Han Sui's severed left hand, immediate crippling, and quiet ennoblement in Chang'an do not match the official record. In the novel, Han Sui is maimed by Ma Chao, loses his left hand in a tent confrontation, then remains in Chang'an to recuperate while being granted the title of Marquis of Xiliang by Cao Cao. In the historical sources, Han Sui is indeed defeated and retreats back to Liangzhou, his power gradually weakening over time. His relationship with Cao Cao is complex, but there is no explicit mention of his hand being cut off in battle, of him becoming a one-handed invalid in Chang'an, or of such a neat settlement with an immediate marquisate. The novel reshapes his fate to create a sharp contrast. Ma Chao escapes as a wandering defeated hero, while Han Sui survives as a compromised, maimed vassal under Chao's control.